system, sensor and microcontrollers. Sensor and microcontroller are present. Interfacing.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Interfacing, the concept of interfacing from the embedded system. Okay. So interfacing, what is interfacing? So do you know any idea about the interfacing? Yeah, communicating between the two devices. Okay. So interfacing, which means connecting. So let's see. Literally, it's a connecting. For example, sensors and then other hardwares. So this is called communicating with microcontroller. This is called interfacing. For example, if you want to learn IoT projects, please at least learn about some interfacing, sensors, LCD, LED, and then sound segment display. Finally, communication interfacing. Very important communication interfacing. Communication interfacing. First one, normal UART communication, and then I2C, SPI, this kind of communication interface. Okay, I think this is advanced level. Okay. First, let me interface one sensor. Let me interface one sensor with the microcontroller. Arduino, prototype board. Okay. So, what is the base requirement for interfacing? First one is Arduino UNO board. First one. Next, sensor. Here I have 3 sensors. First one, gas sensor, raindrop sensor, and then soil moisture sensor. Yeah. Also Arduino UNO board. So type SMD. Yeah, microcontroller type is SMD. SMD means okay. Yeah, type is the SMD. SMD means surface mounted devices. Okay. Now let me interface this sensor. I think gas sensor. Gas sensor with Arduino UNO. So whatever may be any kind of sensor in the world, any kind of sensor, 3 to 4 pins are available in that sensors. By default, first 2 pins for power supply, 5 voltage or 3 voltage, and then ground for power supply. Another 2 pins, digital output and then analog. Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Yes, both assembled and showing that. Okay, listen. This is jumper wire. So type male to female. It is used to connecting two devices. Wire, just to wire. From the sensor, here first pin number 1. Here first pin VCC. Okay, 5 voltage, center pin ground, final pin analog output. Okay, so this is MQ type gas sensor, so it can detect some hazardous gas. Actually it's not a real-time sensors, only just for prototype. In real-time sensors, the precision level is very high, also cost wise very high. It's a low budget sensors. Now let me connect VCC. Ground, then finally A0. A0 means analog signal. Analog signal is the signal which is the values are samples varying with respect to time. So this is called analog signal. In digital signal, in sensor have two types of signal, first on analog, second on digital. For digital signal, the values that never change with respect to the time, so this is called a digital signal. For example, zeros and ones. Yeah, zeros and ones are digital signal. That zeros and ones, it will be never change with respect to the time. Okay, so before going to the connecting the interface the sensor, now let me check this board whether it is working or not. So this is a simple cable, USB type and printer cable, or printer cable, simply printer cable. Okay, first one end, these one end are connected with our system. Okay, once you connected, just open your software. Okay, the software for Arduino is Arduino ID. I think you know about the Arduino ID. Arduino ID. Is, oh, okay, ma'am. Actually, first time for first time project development, you can use Arduino IDE. For production. For production in PCB, it's not only for Arduino, ma'am. All microcontrollers have prototype board. Even 8051, PIC, all microcontrollers have own prototype board. For example, இல்ல மேம் விரட்டும் மேம் வேணாம் மேம் டீ தான் சாப்பிட்டேன். Listen ma'am. Yeah. So this is a PIC development board. So development board for PIC. It's a basic board actually, PIC, and then 8051. So earlier boards actually 8051 PIC are one of the earlier boards. 8051. Okay. So actually, what is the specialty of Arduino? When compared to other boards, what is the best specialty in Arduino? So this is my question. Do you know any specialty? Why now worldwide most of the peoples why they are using Arduino Uno? Arduino especially Arduino Uno.
Easy to use.
Easy interface. Next sir. Difference actually I want a difference from other development boards and then Arduino. Collect the signals easily. Okay, but interfacing different, sir. Interfacing means what you are telling, sir. Actually, exactly. Oh.
You know.
Okay. So actually, sir, here I can emulate my code. Actually, emulate my code only through this cable with a single Arduino Uno board. But PIC and 8051, we need to add intermediator. Yeah, this is called a dumper. Dumper kit. Dumper or programmer. These ones, sir. First one is development board. Second, programmer kit. So in other boards like PIC 8051, STM, etc., but in other boards we need additional programmer. But in Arduino board, it have internal dumper or programmer. Okay. Once your Arduino hardware connected with your system, just check your serial ports whether your Arduino is properly connected or not. Okay, now let me check my serial ports. Tools, port. So it's not showing any ports. If in case port not showing means it having some problem, cable or your board. Yeah, actually my board properly connected with my system. Okay, you can check, you can check your Arduino Uno software. Go to the tools port, it will be showing your appropriate sir. Yes sir. Arduino, Arduino. No sir, it's not required any programming. Actually you need to write some program, but basically each and every Arduino board has some default program. Yeah, default LED blinking program. It's no sir, you can build your code as per your requirement. Sir, program C sir, actually not only for Arduino Uno, uh, most of microcontrollers they are using C programming. Only for speed of execution, it's very high in C. Yeah, sorry ma'am.
Another language.
Ma'am, actually my recommendation C is very good ma'am, for faster execution and for very faster. So we can use yeah, other programming languages like micro Python, JavaScript. Okay, we can use JavaScript in Arduino Uno, but programming speed and compilation is very slow. So that's why reason we are using C. It's a microprocessor, sir. Actually, it's not a microcontroller. It's a Raspberry Pi. It's a microprocessor. It is that processor developed by ARM 52. Yeah, ARM 52. Sir, actually, the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller, okay, SoC, system on chip, which means SoC, which means it have one CPU, one RAM, timer, counter, etc., or inbuilt within a single architecture. But in microprocessor, only CPU which is constructed within a chip. RAM, ROM, okay, we can connect additionally. In our system, laptop and other CPU, we are connecting RAM and ROM additionally, because in laptop and other systems they are using microprocessor. Okay. For automation purpose, we can use microcontroller. Heavy processing can use a microprocessor. Okay. Actually, my Arduino Uno hardware board is connected properly with my system at the communication port 23, COM 23. This COM port, it may be vary depending upon your system. Okay. Yeah. Next, we can check also here, start device manager. Start device manager. Yeah. ports COM 23. Once I removed there is a no ports. Now let me interface again. Yeah, it is showing the it is showing CH340 COM3. Okay, and then driver software. The driver software is very important to connect external things to your computer. Not only it is not only for Arduino. If you want to connect any external things to your computer, you must have consolidate driver software. For example, if you want to connect printer, you must have the driver that printer driver software. But in Arduino, but in Arduino ID, that software having a own driver software. The driver software installed during your first installation of Arduino ID. It will be automatically installed with your software. Okay.
Stop the camera forever. Stop the camera. Stop the motion. Have it. You can go. In this, we are taking the audio. And you're sharing the screen or not?
No. No, 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 sir, no, sir.
How you want this video?
Video, sir. Yes, I want video.
You can use this laptops. You can show it in front. Or Madam, easy.
No. I will just
Only-
call Priya ma'am and inform this.
Only this laptop is enough, sir.
Pardon me, sir.
This laptop is enough, sir.
The video also. You show here itself.
Yeah.
How we have to show him there?
Rima?
Actually, what you are doing, everyone has to see. So here, any camera will be.
Yes, ma'am.
Here,
It is closed. We need, for that only we need.
Yes.
hello, ma'am. That's it.
கொடுங்க சரி. ஓகே ஓகே. டச் சென்சார் இங்க மேல இருக்குங்களா? ஓகே மேம்.
Password is 0112.
0112. 0112. Okay. Yes.
Yes. Or anyone. Where is
Sure, can you hold like this?
okay.
Leave it. Okay, yeah. Fixed.
Coming out. Now it's fixed.
Or we just use
You just use
phone itself.
I think back cover is just a big.
directly from
Yeah. Remove the back cover.
this one, sir.
Yeah.
That's a back cover.
Yeah. I think it will be fixed properly.
Because this week I have to change my temper glass, so no issues, whatever you guys say.
Changing your phone.
No,
But
temper glass.
now
That's it.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's visible, no?
No, just keep here.
fine. Stop.
12:45 or
Now it's on 12:15.
12:15. Half an hour is enough.
even 1 o'clock?
Okay. Okay.
We will ask food is there ready. Food is ready means we will close. Because already I given break now. That time also ma'am asked, Nisha, you whether asked to snacks is ready. No. Mute. It's mute only.
That mic is cancelled.
Okay. Just listen. How to check Arduino ports? Okay, my Arduino properly fixed with my system. Okay, just to go Windows,
Share your screen. Zoom. Share your screen.
Zoom.
No, not that. Just open Zoom.
Just go to the start, type device manager, and then ports, PO or case ports, USB serial CH340, COM23. Okay, actually USB serial CH340 is the driver software name. Okay, and then COM23 is the communication port. Communication 23 is allocated for Arduino Uno. Okay.
You stop sharing the screen when we are done.
I will maximize this.
You can maximize on YouTube. Stop. You can click on stop sharing.
Okay.
Whenever you want to share, you can.
Perfect.
Okay. Now let me remove my Arduino Uno from system. Yeah. Ports are disabled. Okay. Now let me interface again. Yeah. Ports enabled. USB serial CH340 COM23. Now open your Arduino ID. Go to the tools. Ports. Select 23. Okay, it's completed. Now open your default code. Actually, the specialty of Arduino is some basic programs are inbuilt in your software. File, examples, basics, blink. File, examples, basics, and then blink.
Spotlight you want, huh?
Spotlights, no.
States again. Go to. Just share the screen. I'll manage it. Or disconnected or what? Close this. Do one.
You want? Do you meeting? No. Just
Okay, actually this is sample and a basic code for Arduino Uno. So not only for Arduino Uno, all other boards. So see the line, see this line, turn on, turn and LED on for 1 second, then off for 1 second. This is called LED blinking, on and off. This is called LED blinking. Most Arduinos have an onboard LED. You can control. Onboard LED means most of Arduino have some onboard LED this side. Yeah. LED, onboard LED. Onboard LED means one single LED which is attached with in your Arduino board. So this is called onboard LED. It is only for testing purpose, whether your board working or not. Okay. In Arduino Uno Mega 0, it is attached in digital pin 13. Okay. Actually, Arduino have digital and analog pins. Okay. Both digital and analog pins. See this diagram up to pin number 0 to 13. This is called digital pins. You can able to transmit or input output and then other operation, pulse width modulation, etc. in digital pins 0 to 13. A0 to A5, totally 6 pin for analog pin. Okay. For example, if you want to interface temperature or any alcohol sensor, gas sensor, you can use analog pin. Okay. Actually, the exact code which it starts from void setup, and then void loop. Simply, I am saying void setup for initial purpose, for initialization. What we are initializing? Let's consider addition of two numbers in C program. Here we are initialize the variables for that C programs. But in hardware side, embedded system, we are initializing the which pin you want in future. Okay, we need to describe your pin, whether it is input or output. Okay, actually pin mode is the keyword. LED built-in also keyword. Here LED built-in means which pin may be called. For Arduino Uno, LED built-in function, which pin may be invoked. See this paragraph on the Uno Mega 0 is attached in digital pin 13. Yeah. Here LED built-in means pin number 13. This acts as a output, not a input. Okay. Output means your pin providing power supply. So that is called output. Input means you are providing input signal externally. Okay. Here both input and output carrying your input voltage. Okay. Here the total input voltage of Arduino is 5 voltage. Okay. Input voltage 5 voltage. Okay. Void loop is the main function. The main function which starts from void loop, digital write built-in high. High means 1. High means that pin 1. 1 means 5 voltage. High 5 voltage for 1 second. 1. Once completed 1 second, comes down 0, 1 second. Void loop, it's an infinity loop. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So now let me upload the code to Arduino Uno. So once again, verifying tools, ports, yeah, it's connected properly. Sketch compiling. Done uploading. My LED is blinking right now. Camera. Sir, camera. Yeah. Where it is?
Close it. Stop here. Want to use both?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I want to use both system and camera.
This room. This room. After that, you share it also.
Okay, okay.
Some issues there.
Yeah. So default pin number 13 or attached with your Arduino Uno board. Actually, I used pin number 13 for LED blinking purpose for 1 second delay. Actually, it is running properly. 1 second. Okay. So this is called interfacing. Now I interfaced LED. Okay. Delay function. Now let me change the delay. 500. 500 means 0.5 second. 1000 milliseconds. 1000 means milliseconds. 1 second. 500 milliseconds. Half second.
Share screen. Share screen. That might not be problem. What if I close the
Yeah. Actually, totally first time I am using Zoom meeting. Till now, I did not use the Zoom meetings. Any not only Zoom meeting, any Google Meets, Google Zoom Meet, totally online classes.
You can explain, sir. I'll fix it. It will be visible flow.
Okay, fine. Okay. It's enough. Now I am uploading code for 0.5 seconds, half seconds. Yeah, it is blinking for 0.5 seconds. Okay. So first interfacing completed. Second interfacing sensor. Okay. I planned to only two interfacing, LED and any kind of sensor, and then final interfacing gateway. Actually, I have the gateway Wi-Fi module ESP866. Let me show after lunch. Okay. Here, green color wire, green color jumper wire. For positive, yellow negative, finally orange analog pin. Okay. Now let me connect the sensor to Arduino. If you want to connect any board with your device, just disconnect from your system. Never provide any connections while standing on power supply, because maybe short circuits may be occur. Once your Arduino have feel short circuit, suddenly this board will be destroyed. Actually, the price of this board, I think up to 700 to 1300 on single board price. So this is called market demand. Actually, 2018, I purchased this board 2018 for 250 to 280. 2018. But now 2020 to 4 years gap. Now price of the board, depending upon the shop in Bangalore, 650 to 700 in Bangalore. Say electronic city in Bangalore, 650 to 700. In Chennai, 700 to 800. Pondicherry, 800 to 900. Because of demanding. Most of the students and the college professors, they are using this kind of prototype board for finishing their prototype projects. Let me connect analog pin to analog, 5 voltage to 5 voltage. In Arduino board have distributed voltages, 5 voltage ground. Can you see this 5 voltage? 5 voltage and the ground 3.3 voltage with the help of voltage regulators. Okay. Now verify the connection. VCC to 5 voltage, ground yellow wire G and D ground, finally A0 to A0. Okay, I verified properly. Now connect your, with this. Yeah. Actually, this is the gas sensor. Will be provide some values in analog. Okay. Now I want to convert analog to digital conversion, but in Arduino, it have default ADC, analog to digital conversions. But in microcontroller, pick you should additionally install some ADC converter. I think 8008. Okay. But in Arduino, the specialty of Arduino is you no need to use any ADC converters. It have inbuilt ADC converters. Okay. Now file examples analog. I think analog layout serial. I'm simply writing this code. Control N. First void setup. Yeah. Void setup serial dot begin 9600. Okay. Serial dot begin 9600. Here serial dot begin, which means serial communication, UART communication. Okay. I think universal UART means universal asynchronous reception and transmission. Okay. UART communication with a frequency baud rate of 9600 bit per second. Okay. So this is the frequency 9000 bit per second. Okay. Actually, why I am using the serial begin serial dot begin 9600 here? Do you have any idea? Sorry, sir. Okay, so actually, I want to transfer my data through the serial communication. Okay. So void setup and then pin declaration, constant integer. Pin declaration, const integer analog pin equal to A0. Okay. Actually, I am accessing the analog 0 pin. Next, basic value. Basic sensor value. For analog signal, the basic sensor value is 0. Okay. Not only for analog, even digital signal, the basic sensor value is 0. Okay. Okay, global declaration completed, and then now let me access the analog pin through the sensor value. Here sensor value equal to analog read. Analog read is a function. Analog read, analog input. Analog input means A0. You can directly access the A0 here like this. A0. Also the basic sensor value. The sensor value equal to 0. So this is called sensor value equal to 0. By default, sensor value, the analog read value equal to 0. And then finally, I have to print the sensor value. Serial dot print serial dot print sensor value equal to serial dot print. So this is common string actually. Sensor value is the common string. Okay, the string are placed in between the quotes. Print sensor value. Void setup in void loop. Void. These last 3 lines are looping void loop function. Okay. Semicolon, semicolon. Okay. 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 First line, I declared my pin. Second, the default sensor value equal to 0. Whether sensor is not connected means the value is 0. I initiate the baud rate. Okay. 9600. I initiated. Next to inside the void loop, I am reading the sensor value and then print. Now let me verify the ports. Tools, ports, yeah, it's connected properly. Now let me upload the code, upload button. So this is compile button, this is upload button. Actually, I got one error. Void loop redeclared. (16.1) error expected declaration before closing parenthesis token. Wait, hold. Sir, can you recognize this error, sir? Yeah, void loop function. A void loop is a function like a main function, void main. Yeah, I uploaded properly. Now let me open serial monitor. The serial monitor, it is used to display your microcontroller values. It is used to display your microcontroller values with appropriate frequency. Here I fixed the frequency is 9600 bit per second. Yeah. So change. Here change the baud rate value 1,15,200 to 9,600. Okay, sensor interfacing completed. Actually, new line. It is printing only single line. Actually, I want to add new line. Serial dot println. Println here. Println with 1 seconds delay. Delay. For human readable purpose. Okay, that's the reason I am adding that delay. Okay, our system getting the sensor value from this sensor. Now let me change the value of sensors using some sprays. Value disturbed by some external gases. So actually this is the embedded system. The nodes are connected with your microcontroller. These values 125, 112, 102, it will be these values, it will be automatically stored to your cloud. This is called IoT, Internet of Things. Comes under the monitoring project. Once your value is stored properly, then process this data and predict the futures. So this is called machine learning. It's the end application of IoT. Okay. So can you understand, sir? Is there any doubt? Actually, every sensor have some presets in behind. It has some presets for default values, beginning or which means threshold value. I'm fixing my threshold value using these presets. In green color light in the sensor back side, the green color light one is glowing. This is called a digital signal. Okay, your sensor is activated. You can control this digital signal through the presets. Once sensor activated, also your digital pin also activate. Yeah, green color light. Okay, it is for digital signal, but in projects, okay, they never depending the digital signals. Only they are depending analog signals for some threshold values. Okay. Actually, my threshold, our threshold value is greater than 700. Once I spread the values or displayed greater than 700, so this is called our threshold value. Once if our value greater than 700 means hazardous gases are found in our area. Okay. So now I am preset the value. Now I am fixing the threshold value here. Yeah. If the condition, if this sensor value if the sensor value greater than or equal to 700, then print serial dot serial dot println azo gas. Okay, here no need to add else spot. Once your sensor activated, the azo gas will be printed. Okay, now let me upload the code again. Still now the sensor facing the normal gas level because my cutoff value is 700. Now let me change the value. Yeah. Okay. Fire alarm, and then some industrial automation things are working under like this. These kind of threshold values. Okay. So next part. Now I want to transfer these all values to internet cloud. Okay, internet cloud. Sir, is there any doubt, sir? Actually, this is basic interfacing from embedded system. Actually, I planned to the module ESP866 for gateway. ESP8266 type 01. So node part completed, and then part two gateway. Okay, I selected this gateway Wi-Fi module. The name is ESP86601. for student and college and then other prototype purpose, we can use these kind of modules. The operating voltage of ESP8266 is 3.3 voltage, not a 5 voltage. Your Arduino working under 5 voltage. Okay, the 5 voltage is the power supply we are getting from our laptop SMPS. Okay, except your laptop SMPS, you can able to provide 5 voltage through the power supplies, sun direct and then Tata Sky adapters. Okay, so next, the pin description of ESP8266 for sensor. Pin descriptions is 4. First 2 for VCC and ground, second one analog, third one analog, fourth one digital. Okay, this is a sensor configuration, sensor pin configuration. But gateway pin configuration, it is having the 8 pins. Okay, 2 pins for power supply. First VCC, same opposite diagonal ground. VCC opposite ground, and then these 2 pins for GPIO, general purpose input and output, GPIO pins. Just to leave it, we never use these pins for our project, so just to skip it. GPIO 1, this pin U0TXT, TX pin, transmission pin, same opposite diagonal reception pin. Pin number 4 here, pin number 4, enable pin. This enable pin, we must be tied with VCC and enable. Okay, so interfacing of ESP8266, interfacing with Arduino. Okay. This is exact diagram to interface your Arduino with the ESP8266. Okay. VCC, first pin, VCC, CH enable are tied together, and then opposite diagonal, VCC, opposite diagonal ground, 3.3 voltage for VCC, RX, sorry, TX is connected with RX, and then RX it is connected in TX. In UART configuration, TX transmitting device, reception device, TX RX, TX. Okay. reception or transmission, reception, reception, transmission. So this is the connection protocol for UART communication. Okay. So generally I'm asking one question. Why we are using 3.3 voltage for ESP8660 module, sir? Actually, Arduino board working properly in 5 voltage, then why we are going to provide 3.3 voltage for ESP8660 module? Is there any idea, sir? Okay, actually ESP8660 modules are Wi-Fi modules. Okay. Basically, Wi-Fi modules are operating in portable condition and standing power supply. So this is called standing power supplies. These power supplies are coming from our AC 230 voltage and then it's converted into AC to DC. So this is a stand-up power supply. But the portable power supply means battery. Battery in our mobile phones, which are 3.3 voltage to 3.6 voltage. Okay, not only for mobile phones, some battery devices they are using 3.3 to 3.6 voltage for the constant voltage regulation. In most of the products, they are using the Wi-Fi transformation, Wi-Fi communication. Okay. In Wi-Fi communication means by default IEEE standards they fixed 3.3 voltage. Yeah, IEEE name is 880. Wait, sir. As per the IEEE 802, 802 something exactly, I don't know, BGM. Yeah, the transmission devices 802.11G. It's a popular wireless standard today. Okay. Here they fixed a 2.4 gigahertz band. It must be operating. It's the operating voltage for 2.0 gigahertz devices 3.3. Okay, your Wi-Fi modules greater than 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, that's why reason we are using 3.3 voltage to Wi-Fi module. Simply only for portable purpose. Okay, sir. Shall we? Okay. Okay, sir. We can continue after the lunch, sir.
So far, leave the meeting.
Yes.
Please proceed for the lunch. This is the same menu as we had yesterday. Department library of VC in the first floor. And we'll meet again at 1:15. The session starts at 2 p.m. Thank you.
Laptop